we both share a lot of similarities. And like, as much as we've done, people would want to be in that position, want to be a first-round draft pick, want to have, you know, a career in the NBA or the NFL. I can't help but feel like now I go back to these kids and I'm almost like a beacon of what not to do almost. You know, no matter where you are, no matter how good you think it is, it can all go away in a flash like this. And the reality of it is, you know, it doesn't last forever.
Well, first off, that's the title of this episode, just so y'all know. A beacon of what not to do.
For sure. Welcome to the Glory Daze, an Almost Friday Media original. I'm your host, Johnny Manziel. Today on the pod, we have Greg Oden, basketball phenomenon, #1 overall pick, a truly resilient athlete. Really excited for you guys to sit down and hear a little bit about his journey. Ohio State, some OHIO royalty in the building today. I guess a great place to start off is something we were just kind of talking about briefly, but congrats, Hall of Fame, Ohio State.
Thank you.
How was the ceremony? How was that?
It was good. I mean, I got a jacket. The first group to get jackets, we got red Ohio State jackets.
Love it.
But because I'm tall and skinny, it's kind of weird because it was like you can get this size or you can get this size. So my jacket was big on the bottom and then the arms was like too short. So I was like, I had my hands in my pockets the whole entire time.
That's got to be something by now you're probably used to with the jacket sizing and stuff like that. It's got to be pretty tailored.
Am. But honestly, like I'm just so honored to be inducted into the Ohio State Hall of Fame. And for one, thank you because you're an Ohio sports legend as well. So thank you for having me.
And of course, was it? You think it's what you expected? Obviously, Ohio State, long history, tradition of being a great school. Was it what you expected?
It was more than what I expected, honestly. Like my first game and on our official visit was the Texas Ohio State game, and Vince Young did his in the game quarterback run, and you know, like just kind of just went in. We're like. And so the game's over and 100,000 people leave and me, Mike, and Daquan are sitting in the stand still with Mike Conley Sr. No, literally we were sitting there and we were like, so can we commit now?
Just on the spot, ready to go.
Yeah, he's like, don't say that. Don't say that ever again. You know how that goes. You're there, you're like,
of course.
I think I need to commit.
Yeah, but whenever you get into a setting like that and you like get that feeling about it, you're like, man, I want to be here already. Yes. I just got a chance, you know, last year as well to go into my Texas A&M Hall of Fame, and I think when I went through it, obviously got a lot of like feelings and emotions that are kind of going through it. You know, when you look back at your time in Ohio State, you know, what do you think is a specific moment or memory that, you know, you'll never forget?
I mean, I got a couple, but the national championship is just something I would never forget. Just, I mean, we played against freaking 6 NBA players in that national championship, and if we hit a couple more threes, I felt like we would have been in that game. And, you know, 25-12 with my offhand, you know, I think that's a memory I will always forget.
It's got to be. I think that's something I look back on college sport. Like my college time is something that obviously the goal when you don't get there, you know, it's tough. So to be able to have a year that you go and you obviously, you know, get to the big game, whether it pans out or not, it's something that, you know, will leave a lasting memory on you forever.
Yes, sir.
You know, what really got you into basketball to start?
I am 7 feet tall.
Of course. You've always been that tall? Were you out of the gate?
I mean, I want to say 4th grade. Well, 5th grade, my teacher, I remember he was 5'10", and I started shorter than him. And then our last picture at the end of the year, I was taller than him. And then 6th grade, I was 6'6". 7th grade, 6'7". 8th grade, 6'8". And after that, I was 6'11".
So it was from the jump.
Yeah, and why not? Honestly, basketball was just what I did. My mom, I mean, she worked 2 jobs, so me and my brother would just go to the Boys and Girls Club. Like that's where we basically grew up at in Terre Haute, Indiana. And I just went to the gym, and somehow I got good at one point.
Any other sports? I feel like you could have been a hell of a receiver.
Oh. No, I was a terrible receiver. I used to catch the ball with my chest all the time. But as a DN, because my arms before a horse collar, I was over that motherfucker. You 3 people blocking me.
You were snatching people left and right.
That was my shit. I ain't gonna lie. Excuse my language.
No, you're good. You're good. You're free to talk how you want on here for sure. So as you're growing up, you're a kid. You know, who were some of these players that you were looking up to, who you really wanted to be like?
David Robinson.
Yep.
My favorite player. I mean, he just ran like a deer. And then, of course, Tim Duncan, Shaq, Yao Ming, Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, like guys that I heard all these stories about, Artist Gilmore, like getting to meet these guys. It was like, I want to be like them one day. But honestly, I just felt like I can dunk the ball, I can block shots. Why not just do that to the best of my ability?
100%. I grew up watching those San Antonio Spurs teams. It was, being a Texas guy, they were on a hell of a run, had some crazy talent there, some absolute legends. So, man, I remember those teams. I was more of a Mavericks fan growing up always, but man, those Spurs teams were something special.
I got one text message from Dirk, and it actually, it kind of pulled some hairs up behind my ears. I was like, oh shit! It was between when I went to Miami, so it was between Miami and Dallas, and Brian texted me, Dirk texted me, and it was just like, everybody look.
Getting swayed by two legends has to be an unbelievable feeling. I saw this. You told a story about Mike Conley in the 6th grade. Without him knocking on your door, do you think you would have taken basketball as seriously? Like obviously he was a guy that was a huge part in your life growing up. But talk a little bit about that relationship and how that was.
So I definitely remember that day, and I remember turning them down to go play in the men's league, but it was probably the best decision ever made that my mom made for me. It was going to play with that team. It just changed my game. It brought me to another level. Like I was still playing on the AAU team in Terre Haute, but once I got on that team, Spice Indy Heat, it literally, like I looked at basketball a little bit differently, and I'm so thankful to Mike Conley Sr. for even coming to my house that day and bringing all those guys who, a lot of them I'm still friends with to this day. Reese, Curtis, Darren Granger, Mike, obviously, and rest in peace, Devin Williams. He was there, but all those guys showing up at my house, like still today, like it means so much to me. Like that changed my life, to be honest.
Yeah, I think obviously having a moment like that, they'll stick with you forever. And what really was pivotal in your, journey of, getting to where you wanted to go as being a basketball player. You went and you grew up in a state like Indiana playing basketball, some absolute legends, You were in your high school. You had a reporter that just specifically covered on you.
Yes.
So how was dealing with that? I mean, that's obviously a small level of fame within itself.
I'm gonna say I'm so humble while I talk about myself, but no, like in high school, like it was normal. Like that was my normal. So it kind of was weird. I just dealt with it. I knew he was always going to be at every game, mostly all our practices, and it was cool. I guess it was just like, it didn't bother me. And I think that's just how my life is. Like whatever happens, happens. As you know, we go through stuff and we can't pick and choose what happens. All we can do is just deal with it and move forward and be the best we can in that moment. So having a reporter at every one of my games throughout my whole entire high school career, it wasn't like a problem. It was just the norm.
Did you feel like, obviously being a standout, was there a thought there about you going straight to the NBA?
Yes, but my senior year was the year that the rule came in. So it's crazy because I could say only 5 schools recruited me technically. Like we took visits, we met with coaches, but really only 5 schools recruited me. That's Ohio State, Wake Forest, Michigan State, North Carolina, and IU. It was a weird situation because I always said in all those interviews, we're talking like we're kids. And it was like, I want to go to school. Like I can't go from going against a 6'7" center in a state championship to Dwight Howard my first game. Like, no, that's not okay. Like I need a little buffer period. So
sure.
I definitely always wanted to go, and I always wanted to, be a great college player, have our names in the rafters and, the stuff that you did.
Was there any thought about going anywhere else other than Ohio State?
Wake Forest.
Yeah.
IU, Indiana was definitely in my top 3. But Coach Mata at Ohio State and the football games in the city being, 2:45 away from Indianapolis, I like to say this, like it was close enough that if my mom needed to get there, she could get there, but she's just not coming every day, like to roll up on me. So That's why I chose
That's how I
Ohio
felt.
State.
I committed to Oregon originally. It was so far away from home and ended up staying in Texas. And the biggest thing was at least my parents can pull up on me if they needed to. At least they could be close. It's not easy being a freshman getting onto campus, not especially for me. I mean, I think there's a little bit of a transition period from when you go to high school and you get to college.
Being around Mike, like that's literally one of my best friends. And it was just like having that person there, and obviously one of the best point guards, I think. I think he's go down at least a top 20 point guard ever to play this game. And for me, he's number one. Having that comfort, it was needed. And I think it kind of let us both succeed. I'm going to tell you a crazy story. Day one, I have a cast on my right hand. Shower time after the first practice, after the first lift, and I go, Mike, wash my back, cuz. So all the other players was like, oh, these dudes is weird. These dudes is weird. But that was me trying to be like, I did that just so y'all could. It was like a power move, like just to see what they was going to say. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
I love it. I love it. So you get to Ohio State. How would you guys do dorms?
Yeah, yes, but they actually put us in the graduate dorms when we first got there.
How was the beds being a 7-footer in those dorms?
So we had 8-foot-long twin beds
All right.
in the graduate dorms, and we had the quad. It was me, Mike Conley, Daquan Cook, and David Lighty. So all of us freshmen had our own dorm. And I'm going to say Ivan Harris because he never left our fucking room. So.
I've been to Columbus a few times when I was in Ohio. Obviously, I think a fun campus. How was the campus life there for you?
Well, first off, me and you both were at BBR a couple of times together,
Yeah,
just
sure.
so you know.
Sure,
Just so you know. we spent some time in Columbus together. I didn't know him then, but we were definitely in the same place a couple of times. And,
it's a lively city.
It really is. I love Columbus because I was able to be a young man. I was able to go through my ups and downs, to be a kid, to actually go out and have fun as a 18, 19-year-old kid. And, that's some of the things that a lot of these players, I think, today don't get because, they're coming in, they're looked at celebrities. And,
For sure.
We're like, no, I want to go through this. I want to have the college experience. That's why I'm here, And Columbus, Ohio allowed me to be that and still allowing me to be that. And my daughter was born there. My wife is from there. Like it's a great city and I love it.
You feel like when you step foot on campus there that you were already well known? I mean, obviously being 7 foot, it's hard to walk anywhere without people knowing who you are and But were you famous on campus yet when you arrived?
Well, we came in the summer, as you know.
Yep.
You guys come early, and nobody really knows about that following year till it's right before that year. And
When the fall comes around, it's a different story.
yeah. We were there in the summertime when nobody was on campus when we first got there. I guess I was well known. I mean, I was the number one player in the country at that point, but it wasn't that bad. I think it really got bad after the national championship. That was the one. Like I said, I was able to be a kid, but I walked to class the week before the national championship. Perfectly fine, went to class. That next day after the national championship, when I tried to walk to class, cars were stopping in the middle of the street to get out and take pictures with me. Literally, it took me probably an hour to walk 1 block, and I didn't even go up to class. I called Coach Mando and was like, I can't make it to class. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here now. And I think that national championship changed everything.
I feel the same. Couldn't have had a more similar experience after we played Alabama. I was able to walk to class, be somewhat of a normal college football player. Alabama game happens. It took me 3 hours to try and get across campus to get to class. I'm calling the coach same way, I'm not going to be able to make this class. And deep down, I'm probably ecstatic that I can't make it to class. But for the rest of that, month and a half that we had left in that semester, I was having to get a golf cart pretty much with a security guard to take me to class for the rest of the time. So it's crazy how one game, one instance can literally change that entire experience for you forever. Football season is back, and my partner Underdog wants to make it a lot more exciting for you. Join the millions of fans who played on Underdog last year. With their pick'em game, you can win up to 1,000 times your money by making sports picks. It's time to turn those takes into cash by going higher or lower on player stats, like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and plenty more to choose from. Submit entries including NFL, college football, or mix and match across your other favorite sports to win big. Here are my money picks of the week. Underdog is available in 30 plus states, including California, Florida, Texas, and even Canada. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now and deposit using promo code Johnny to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick.
So, you are the freaking man.
Appreciate you.
When you did this, that changed everything. I'm sorry, it was out of another game. When you did this, it changed everything. And so I got a question. Let's talk about N.I.L.
Yeah.
And what do you think how it would affect us now that it's actually legal and nobody cares on the amount number now?
Yeah. No, I think for me, obviously being able to make an amount of money like that, I would have made more money staying in college than I probably would have on a rookie contract. So I felt pressure to go to the NFL to go try and make a dollar amount that nobody in my family had really, I didn't see from my dad. I didn't see from, anybody else that was in my immediate family. So for me, it was, a huge financial incentive to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. If I could have stayed in college and stayed in school and continued to live the life that I was living while making, money, I think for me, it would have been an absolute game changer.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about the NIL? Do you look back at it now and I sometimes maybe get a little upset about it, get a little mad about it?
Oh, no, I'm pissed about it. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I'm pissed about that. I'm pissed about the new TV deal that got to the NBA after I retired. We would have made so much money. And it would have been not as frowned upon of us doing it. It was like, oh, we deserve this. First off, we're looking in the stands and half this crowd has our jerseys on, but I still got to use my swipes to get chicken Alfredo in the dorms. Like, what are we talking about now? I am happy that the guys are making it. I am a little pissed off at the NCAA for not regulating like they should, because I think it's a lot of the have and have-nots right now. Big schools. I remember your school specifically, your coach talking about it. Yep. It was like, don't you guys have the number one payroll? I mean, he's still like, but it's tough. Our talent would have got us at least $3 million.
Yeah, easily. Easily. You do that. You got 3 years left on the table to still be in college. They're leaving after 1 year. I left after 2. So, I had 2 years of eligibility left. So you're looking at, 6, 10, 12.
Exactly.
You really don't know. Obviously, being at a big school like Texas A&M, a big school like Ohio State, I feel like people would have dropped a big bag on your head to be able to come and stay, especially after having a national championship run in your first year.
So I will say this, though, and I'm going back to colleges and our recruitment. The one thing we did do, Mike Conley Sr., we was having a tournament out here, and we were in L.A., and we went to UCLA's campus. And hearing Andrew Luck. Yeah. And he was like, why am I leaving? I'm going to school with like princes and princesses and like celebrities. It was like, I don't need to leave. And it was like, if you like are a guy and you drive through UCLA's campus, like why would you not? Like it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my
crazy.
Life. And if like they bring me to a Stanford and I do one official visit, I'm like, how is every player not coming here? Like, and that's why Duke is just like that, because, and they go down the list of people in entertainment, people in sports that went to Duke that are in power positions. It's like, yeah, I think I'm going here.
Why wouldn't you look around? It almost seems like a pretty obvious choice.
Yes.
So as that season ends, do you know right away that you're probably going to go to the league?
No. So literally that next day, we come back hoping to have the big celebration of the national championship. And Mark Titus, who works for Barstool, one of my best friends, he's next to me and, fans are there. Like everybody gets a chance to say something. And Mark Titus goes, well, thank you for being on this team. I had a great year. Sorry about the loss, but I will be returning for my sophomore year. Greg.
Put you on the spot right away.
Oh, I was like, you motherfucker. Well, he's actually one of my best friends in life, and that was funny. And I promise you, I did not know I was leaving till when I couldn't walk to class.
Yeah.
And
just felt like it was too much?
Yeah. I just felt like, Mike Sr. and Coach Mando was like, You're not coming back. What are you talking about? You're going to be the number one fucking draft pick. Like, what are we talking about? After Mike's tournament, it was like, he wanted to come back as well. Like, we wanted to run it back. It was like, that team just won 2 in a row. Like, those guys are leaving. Like, if we made it here, like, we can get back there.
Come back a year older, ready to rock. You feel like you still have something left in the tank.
Definitely did. And we always just wanted to win. Like, that was our thing. We just always wanted to win. We didn't care about the numbers. We didn't care about anything. As long as we won, we was good. And I definitely wanted to come back. But as you know, sometimes you have to leave, and you know.
You gotta go. It's time to go make some money.
First off, do you even do that anymore? I gotta ask.
I mean, I see people do it to me in the streets probably, or we'll go to some of the signings and stuff, and like people ask me to do it in pictures. But other than that, I don't do it a whole lot.
I can tell every time I do it, you kind of look down like, yeah, whatever.
No, I mean, it's something. It's it's ingrained in me and gonna be something that's gonna be associated with me forever. So, I had a lot of fun being able to go play college football and to be able to do that and be able to have something. I feel lucky having something that is still around a decade later, still be associated with.
Well, first off, I was just sitting here looking at that. Yeah, that's big time right there. Like shit. I'm like. Okay, talk your shit then.
For sure. I mean, to be a freshman, to be able to go and win that trophy and something that I'll have for the rest of my life, obviously something that to me means the world to me, get a chance to go every December and have, share a stage with those guys. And I mean, for college football, it's legendary.
And I love the commercials, the Heisman.
They're the best.
Heisman
House commercials are the best. I haven't been in any in a while. But, still getting a chance to see them every year in the college football season. It's great. I mean, you look at it, it's as good a fraternity as anything in sports. And, I feel incredibly lucky to be able to be in that. For me, I was extremely, extremely nervous on draft night. Mm-hmm. How were your feelings for you?
I was so busy that I don't even think I was able to get nervous until my name was called, knowing that it was going to get called. But the thing I did a lot of interviews, but BDA, Mike Conley Sr. and Bill Duffy set up Transformers. That's what I did. Like literally pre-draft, I watched the Transformers like a showing, and it was like that relaxed me. And I'm a big movie guy. Like that's what I do all day, every day. I'm a TV movie guy, and then I'm there. All my family literally flew in from Buffalo or drove in from Buffalo. Every last person in my family was there in New York. I got to spend maybe 45 minutes with my family because I had so much going on, and like I was the first name called and then the last person to leave. It was cool, but
it's definitely a whirlwind.
Yes. And then they go and I tell the story all the time. Like Joe Kimno was like, "Yo, we about to turn up in New York." I'm like, "Hell yeah, we are." And then they go, "Yeah, you got an hour to pack your stuff. We got to fly to Portland, Oregon right now." I'm like, so I didn't have a lot of time with my family, but they had a big old parade in Portland.
Yeah, how was that?
It was
Show
awesome.
up to Portland, they throw you.
I had terrible jeans on and a T-shirt because I was not prepared, and I barely slept that night because I was on the plane with like my family and the other draft picks. It was just such a great experience. It's just I wish I was able to like take the time and enjoy
really soak it in a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that is such a moment that, you've been waiting your whole life for. You get it, and then, your name gets called, you're straight into interviews, barely get a chance to see your family, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, you don't get to go celebrate this either. You're on the flight to Portland immediately."
Yes, and I'm gonna say it's all Joe Kim Noah, because he was like, "We're about to turn the fuck up in New York, Gio," and I'm like, "Yes," and then it's like, oh, left half my wardrobe in New York in the hotel room.
Straight to business. How were your feelings on getting drafted to Portland?
I love it.
Loved it?
I mean, that was the day that changed my life. It was the best thing to happen for me. I know my injuries and the ups and downs in Portland, but I am forever thankful to the Portland Trailblazer organization for even taking a chance on me. I'm thankful to Portland, Oregon for the love they showed me. the food, the people, the scenery. It's just a beautiful place. And you know, Nike's out there, Adidas out there. I'm just so thankful for my experience in Portland. And I'm always going to shout out Jay Jensen, who was the trainer for the Trailblazers when I was there, because me and him spent more time together than anybody else. It was awesome.
I bet. You're obviously going to a situation with, LaMarcus Aldridge. He says you were an absolute monster, which you absolutely were. If you think you wouldn't have got injured, do you think you guys would have had the potential to make a nice run there?
LaMarcus Aldridge, stop talking all that shit like we was the actual monsters, as stats and everything shows you were the actual fucking monster. He was amazing. And I'm just so blessed to be on the team with the LaMarcus Aldridge, the Brandon Royce, the Steve Blakes, the Joe Prisbillas, the Travis Outlaws, Martell Websters. They really helped me be in the NBA. Like, those were my mentors. Those were my vets. Andre Miller, I didn't say his name, one of the best point guards ever. I think, we only lost 10 games when I played. Like, out of the games I played, it was like we only lost 10. I think we could do something. I think we're very young. And I think the injuries and the ups and downs out there didn't let us get there. But I'm pretty sure if we had, years together healthy, I think we could have
had the potential to really make a run and do something.
Like, people don't talk about this. Remember the Lil Wayne, LeBron Nike commercial that was black and white? Yep. And he was like, and he did that, and it was a jump ball. That was me, LaMarcus, and Brandon Roy. Like, we literally came here to LA to do that commercial. And it was funny because we played the Clippers and we were all hungover as shit. But it was a good time. Like, I think that team had so much potential. I just wish, our health was able to get us there.
Oh, obviously, when I got to Cleveland, I ended up signing with, LRMR, which is LeBron and Mav and Rich and the boys. How was that joining LeBron and D-Wade when you were in Miami and you decided to do that?
Scary. The number one thing I said when I got with the Miami Heat was, don't get in trouble. Like, me and Michael Beasley, literally that was our thing. We would hang out probably 5 nights out the week because we was like, we can't get in trouble in Miami. Like, we're on this team. We're going to make it to the finals. We're going to get a ring. Just don't fuck it up, basically.
How was the party experience in Miami? Is it one of your favorite places to party?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of it.
We were tapped in, staying in the good graces.
South Beach, I told myself I can only go down there one time a week. Ocean Club was my shit. Big Pink was my shit. But yeah, I tried, Mr. Chow's, obviously, at the W. That's literally my favorite restaurant.
It's a classic.
I definitely tried to stay away from South Beach, though, because I just, being on that team, it felt, it meant a little bit more, and I wasn't going to be the one to mess that up, especially after 2 championships.
Yep. Yeah. You could probably tell going in there that team was, on a mission to do something special.
Mm-hmm. And Udonis was not going to let that shit happen.
He was the enforcer of the whole thing.
I told him on his podcast, I was like, dude, I was scared of you. I'm not going to lie. And he cared about that team, and he still does. He's on the coaching staff there. Miami Heat is that's him. He's Mr. Miami. I'm surprised he's not the mayor yet. It was probably the best experience. I saw A-list players, A-list organization, A-list fans, A-list city. It was amazing. Coach Spo, actually that's the reason why I kind of wanted to go into coaching, because being a part of that team and seeing how they did things, it was dude, they got the best out of these guys. Now, Coach Popovich and San Antonio Spurs whooped our ass in the finals, but I really enjoyed that year. I remember our first pregame our first pregame practice, and I was on the scout team, and I probably had 20 points in the scout, and getting ready for the game, and it's why do I have 20 points? And Spo goes, all right, fellas, we're ready. And me and the whole scout team was like, no, we're not. No, we're not. We need to stop this. So I'm like, I feel like I'm an all-star right now. And it actually showed what happened in that finals. But that team, the guys on that squad just were the best. They were guys I looked up to. They were guys I was a fan of since I was a kid, like the Shane Battiers, the Birdmans, the Rashad Lewises, like the Udonis Haslem. Like those guys like built that team and carried that team. And watching LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh, it was just like, okay, that's what greatness looks like. I still talk about this. Like I saw LeBron James guard somebody with the ball in the left corner. They threw it past the top of the key and to the right corner and didn't even hold it, just quick pass. LeBron James was right there when that ball got to that other corner. And I was like, this is the best player on the planet right now. And he's actually playing defense like that. And LeBron James with the black mask, I played in that game where he got like 63 points. That motherfucker was a creative player. Like, look, I am a Michael Jordan guy. I swear to God. But LeBron James on the Miami Heat is the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball. Like he was that amazing when I saw him. And I saw that every day in practice. I saw him dunk on the whole entire team from the free throw line in practice. And like people don't believe me. I was like, I witnessed that shit. I was like, everybody was in the paint. Like the man jumped from the free throw line and dunked the basketball in practice.
He was on a different level during that time.
I have a lot to say about that Miami Heat team.
You know, you deal with so much, right? You have the injuries. Do you feel during this time that you ever fall out of love with the game a little bit?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day. You know, it's just a young man's mindset. You know, you don't think about the future. You don't think about stuff at that time. You know, you're just thinking about what's going on right now. So, you know, the days that my body felt bad, I was like, fuck this game. You know?
For sure. For sure.
The days I felt good, you know, I was going to celebrate it and enjoy it. But me right now, I am so thankful for every up and down because it is, I mean, as you know, it's what got us here right now, you know, and it's just our life. And I got a daughter, and it's just like these experiences that I've had, I'm able to guide her a little bit. I don't want her to act like everything's going to be perfect. No, there's going to be ups and downs. You're going to learn from every situation. And I'm just so thankful for the life I've lived. I mean, I'm able to take care of my family and just be happy and be comfortable with the person I am right now because of those ups and downs, as you know. And you can look at a lot of things differently, and I'm guessing you can as well.
For sure.
Through yours. And you know.
I feel like I'm always traveling and on the go. For this podcast, for sporting events, or to visit family and friends. I never know what to pack. It's always so annoying having to fit all my soaps and shampoos into different small containers. But now you can simplify travel with Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that does the work of shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. And it's clinically proven to control odor for 24 hours. Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is formulated with gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source. Regular soap can't do that because the pH is too high. This simplifies your hygiene routine, and it's the only thing you really need to pack. Finally, I have room for that extra pair of shoes. You can get it in 3 cologne quality scents. Mount Fuji smells fresh, and Woodsy Bourbon Leather is sweet and sophisticated. And Pro Sport is clean and citrusy. Mando's Leather Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. My favorite part is that Mando is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on your favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code Johnny at shopmando.com. That's promo code Johnny at shopmando.com. I think more than anything, when you're on the way up, everything's going so good, it's going so smooth. Are you seeing things around you and learning a little bit? Sure. But whenever things start to go the other way, You start to learn a lot more about life, about who your friends are, about the support you have around you. I always tell people I learned way more through the down than I ever did on the way up. And I think it's something that, the tough times of life end up making you who you are.
The one thing that and this is me taking over the interview.
Take it over.
The one thing that I want to ask people is because when you were a player, a lot of us, when you know that check is going to be dropped every other Tuesday, do you pay attention to that account?
For me, I went into the NFL with almost like a college mindset in the sense of, how you get your stipend check every month or whatever. I just wanted to get a little bit of money every month, and I didn't want to look at it. So I just wanted to try and stay within my means a little bit and not, I didn't really splurge that much whenever I got into the league. I tried to almost keep it like I got a little bit bigger stipend account than I was getting in college.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I started at.
Well, that's awesome. I wish I was good enough to think that way. I just know my experience was when I knew that check was going to be there, I spent all willy-nilly because I knew it was coming in, when you're on the team. So the one thing I do want to, teach a lot of these young kids who are getting it a lot earlier, who are not as mature, getting that money in the league. They're 18 years old, just getting $100,000 is to actually pay attention to it. A lot of these kids don't understand that, okay, if you get this $100,000 from this school, you get $200,000 from the next school, you got to pay taxes in that state from that other school. Then you're going to have to pay taxes from the new school. Like, a lot of these kids just don't understand like this. And we don't come from financial backgrounds, basically. Like, I'm not going to say my mom had $1 million, my dad didn't have $1 million. They just got by. And a lot of us who are athletes don't have that same thing as well. So just trying to educate kids, the coaches as well to try to help these guys out. The coaches are dealing with a lot. They got to coach, they got to recruit, and they got to teach. It's like you really don't have the time to do all that. And most of them have families themselves. So it was like you pouring in all that to these kids. And, I just want these kids to understand the basics of financials. Be involved, be engaged, pay attention to where your money's coming from and where it's going, who has access to your stuff. So I know I'm going into a little financial literacy stuff, but
it's something that's, I look back at it now and when they're talking about N.I.L. and stuff and these guys who are making, you see it, they're making a couple $1 million in college and stuff. It's been a hope of mine that there are schools, the schools are, helping these guys, put them in a position to bring people in, to educate them on that. Because you would have handed me $1 million in College Station,
you would own College Station. They have the platform to actually teach them, but I don't think, as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid, you're like, oh, so I need to go down there and do 5 questions? No, I'm not. Like, I don't even want to go to class right now. I don't even want to do this test, so I'm not doing this extra. So, coming from somebody like me who's been through it and been through the ups and downs, I hope that it can resonate with these guys because we just want you to keep your money as long as you can. And you, as you know, getting that pension at 60, it's a long time from when you're done to get to that 60. So
we both share a lot of similarities. And like now I feel like when I go back to Texas A&M, when I'm around these kids, I almost want to try and, as much as we've done, people would want to be in that position, want to be a first-round draft pick, want to have, a career in the NBA or the NFL. I can't help but feel like now I go back to these kids and I'm almost like, a beacon of what not to do almost. I feel, as much as I've done right to be able to get to a certain point, I'm also here to tell you guys that like, no matter where you are, no matter how good you think it is, it can all go away in a flash like this. It's something you never really expect might happen, but and the reality of it is, it doesn't last forever.
Well, first off, that's the title of this episode, just so y'all know, a beacon of what not to do.
For sure.
And I love that I'm here with you, just being in Ohio and just being a big fan of you, man. You 100% right. I personally didn't succeed in the NBA like I wanted to because of my ups and downs and my injuries. But learning from things that I've learned on the court and off the court, I just want to bring that down to a bunch of other kids that are going through the same thing. And hopefully they can make better decisions than I did coming up.
I think that's the wisdom that we're able to give back, at this point that we're in now. Because it's easy, man. It's easy to go down that slippery slope and that slippery path for sure.
Because it's fun.
It is fun. I mean, it's really easy to get caught up in the lifestyle and in and everything that comes along with it. And I think that's something for me that I really got away from is, the main thing was always sports for so long, and then it shifted into something else. It shifted to what football gave me, right? It shifted into the late nights, the parties, the fun, and I mean, you've shared your stories about, going through similar things like that. What has been your journey to getting to a better place?
The ups and downs, honestly, and realizing that I'm the only person going through my experience. I love my wife, but when she walks into another room, she doesn't experience what I'm experiencing in that same room. So everything that I go through is me. So I can't feel bad about everything that's happening because it's my life, it's my journey. And so when I look at it, I just want to be happy with everything I am, everything I've done. Just try to make the best decision every day. Try to be the best me that I can. And if I make a bad decision, I made that decision and I can't blame nobody else. That's where I'm like confident and happy with being me because I made those decisions. I was the one that walked that path. Nobody else have.
It takes a while to get to that point though, right? Like there were days for me after this happened where you feel like, the world is ending kind of thing, right? Like this is, I was supposed to be this and I was supposed to be that. I went through my phases where I wouldn't leave the house. I wouldn't go outside. I was just completely stuck. I felt like I stayed that way, for a while. I think, obviously your wife had to be a person that really, really helped get you through that. I'm sure you shared similar experiences with that as well.
Yes, there was times where I didn't want to see nobody. Like I lived in the house with two of my friends, and I don't think I saw them for 7 days just because I was just so embarrassed about stuff that I did. There was times that I had to drink so much and take so many sleeping pills just because I didn't want to. I couldn't go to sleep. Technically, I had to pass out every night. Because of my ups and downs when I was young and not happy with myself and my decisions or everything that's going on. But the older I got, the more I realized, like, this is your life. Like, you can't blame anybody else. All you can do is be the best for you right now. I have a picture on my phone that I keep and I look at constantly, and it was like, Budweiser, Bud Light, a bottle of wine, Benadryl, Advil PMs, Tylenol PMs, my Vicodin, my Percocet. And the reason why I keep it is because I remember there was a time in Portland where I literally had to take every last one of those every night just to sleep 3 hours. And I had to be at practice. And this was my everyday. A spot that I hate that I was in, but it's a spot that I've learned so much from. I just need to be me. I'm not comfortable enough. Like I just wanted to pass out. I didn't want to think about everything that was going on. I didn't want to think about what somebody's going to write about me or what somebody's going to say to me. I just needed to go to sleep because I know I had shit to do in the morning. And after going through all that and having my daughter, having my wife that I could talk to, now I'm like, look, I just need to be me. Like, I don't care if you can't sleep tonight, you still got to go through this and nobody else is going to help you with this. Like, and I guess that's the biggest thing I learned through all my ups and downs is just, I have to go through it. Like, nobody's going to change that shit.
Yeah, and nobody's going to do it for you at the end of the day, right? And I think, for me, a huge part of, was the outside noise of hearing everybody else too. It's crazy how, as down as people will get on you during this times, nobody was harder on on me than me. So I think,
100%.
when you're the person that's beating yourself down every day, man, it becomes exhausting. It becomes, a really scary place to be whenever, even your own head isn't a safe place.
Yes, sir. That's probably one of the best things I've heard, because going through those darkest times, you're harder on yourself than anybody else. And it's like now, I watch more basketball than I did when I was playing. I didn't want to hear that shit because I was already like cussing my own self out before the game that I had the night before. You only had 6 points. Like, who are you? Like, I'm not watching what anybody else is going to say. Like, I was so tough on myself. And now I'm like, as soon as I retired, they was like, do you watch basketball? I'm like, I watch it more than I've ever watched it because I'm just a fan of sports.
Did you go through a phase where you didn't watch it?
I did not, actually.
Yeah?
Because I was when I played.
Yeah.
that was my span of not watching basketball. It was like you watched it because we had to watch film for the games before. But like I didn't watch anybody else's game because I was so like worried about what we're doing. And then once I retired, it was like, yeah, I watch basketball every night. I'm watching Game Time. I'm watching Sports Center. Scott Van Pelt. It's my guy.
I went through a phase there where I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't watch it for probably 2 years.
Really?
I just, man, I think when it went away for me, I think I just felt almost bitter, right? I almost felt mad at how the situation had played itself out. Mad at you get mad at the world, and it took me a while to get over that hump, to get back to looking at it like, okay, this is something that I've loved my entire life, something that I do genuinely enjoy. And something that I want to do, right? And I think now, like kind of like you're saying, I think I watch more sports, more football now than I definitely did in the past. As men, hair loss is a stressful reality. No one wants to lose their hair, but for some, it's actually very common. And now with Hims, the solution is simple. Try Hims hair loss solutions, and you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who got their flow back. With Hims, you can start seeing your hair grow back in as little as 3 to 6 months. Hims provides access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch. They offer personalized chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatment options so you can find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online. Just answer a few questions and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to your door. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, so if you feel like you're losing a part of yourself with your hair loss, get Hims and get your confidence back. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/Johnny. That's HIMS.com/Johnny for your personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/Johnny. Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is right for you. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. So you obviously, you retire from the NBA for a while, you take time off. What was it like coming back and playing in China, deciding to come back and play again? Is that a process that took you a while to get to that point?
No, it actually wasn't, because at that time I still wanted to play.
Yeah.
Like I still felt like I was in shape enough. My body was good enough. I can show and do different things over there. And I get over there, and of course, first preseason game, I break my thumb, and then out another month. It was like, come on. Like, it wasn't even my knee. That was the worst part. It was just like, actually, it was my right hand. Like, my thumb is weird. It, like, turns away, and it was like, so I couldn't catch a ball, and I'm in China. It's not, it wasn't Western medicine, so it was a little different. He actually did chi on my thumb every day. He would come to my hotel room. He would have a plate of oil, light it on fire. He would grab the fire and he would rub and maneuver my thumb for a whole month straight. That sounds weird. Shut up. But yes, that did happen. And then over there, it was just a little different. It wasn't, you played somewhere else that wasn't the NFL.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
It's not what we're used to. So,
For sure.
like, I'm going to the restroom at halftime and the coaches are in the restroom smoking cigarettes. It's like, what the hell's going on here? But Marshawn Brooks was my teammate who played Providence, played for the Brooklyn Nets, New Jersey Nets, and the dude was averaging like 30-something a game. Like, that's what they want over there. And the players over there are awesome. Yee was drafted in my draft class. I ended up playing over there. He might be bigger than, well, it's Yao, Stephon Marbury, and Yee. Those are the top three. And it was just a good experience. For me, I just learned a lot about different life, and that kind of humbled me as well, being over there. One of my teammates told me that people look at me like Godzilla because I'm like 7 feet tall and I'm just like bigger than life. And so I get off the elevator one time. We were in the hotel, and I swear to God, these was 3 grown-ass women. I'm going to my floor. The elevator opens up. 3 grown-ass women look up, scream in my face, and go running down the hallway. And at first, I was confused. Then I was laughing, and then I was mad. I didn't know what. I was
Didn't know how to feel about it.
What? And I went to go tell my teammates. They go, they literally thought you were Godzilla.
My time in Canada was one I look back at, like still trying to chase the dream, still trying to be able to go play, but like also trying to enjoy being in a new place, new country, and like. I think for me, it's something I look back on and still have a little bit of appreciation for, even though it was vastly different.
What city were you in?
I was in Hamilton, which is outside of outside of Toronto. I was there for probably a couple months, and then got traded to Montreal. So I got a chance to be in Montreal for 4 or 5 months, and it's an amazing city. One that
I was waiting on you to say it because I was like, I've heard about Montreal now.
Montreal was great, and the thing that was different about the CFL compared to the NFL, the amount of structure, time you're in, they had a time, system set up in the CFL where it's like you get in the building at 9 o'clock and you can only be in the building, or got to be out of the building by 1 p.m. So we pretty much had full days to be able to go do whatever you wanted for the most part. Montreal was a city that I definitely had a lot of fun in for sure.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of bachelor parties go there.
It's a party city for sure.
Yeah,
it's a little tough if you don't speak French.
Yeah.
So the language barrier is a little bit of a thing, but other than that, I had a great time with it for sure.
That's awesome.
What about the Big Three? You ended up going and doing that as well. How was that?
It was awesome. I think for a lot of older, retired guys or guys who's just not in the league no more, I think that is a great league to go to. They treat you well. They pay you well. Games are only on the weekends, and it's only the 50, so you're not killing yourself in your body. Ice Cube is so involved in everything with that league. It's like he's on the conference calls. Like, he's the guy. I wasn't expecting that, I guess. I was expecting him to have somebody else handle it and handle everything. No, he is so involved. And I'm so thankful to have that opportunity to play in that league. Just so you know, Ice Cube, I would love to coach in the Big Three League. It's a summertime job. I would do that to the best of my ability, just throwing that out there.
You heard it here first. Did he talk you into going in, or was it a pretty easy decision for you?
Actually, Andre Owens, who's a former NBA player, lives in Indianapolis, actually reached out to me, and it was a good time. I want to say my second year, I think I enjoyed it too much. That was the year that most of the games were in Vegas, and I probably spent 75% of my checks in Vegas because I was there. My wife definitely loves to tell me about that one. But it was a good time. Like, honestly, like for me, when I was kind of deciding if I was done with basketball, that was just a great thing for me to do. I was able to play. I was able to be around NBA guys. I was able to be around like a bunch of Hall of Famers, like Gary Payton, Dr. J, like their coaches there. It's just George Gervin. It was just a great experience, and I think Ice Cube is doing an amazing job with that league. And I think any player who has, like, they're getting younger and younger, so like us old guys can't keep up as much anymore. It definitely is. But I really advise a lot of guys to go and pursue that.
Obviously, basketball is changing a little bit. What do you think of the evolution of the bigs in this league today compared to when you were playing?
I mean, I probably would have evolved if I kept playing as well. I mean, the guys that I coach and the kids that I coach, like the bigs, the corner three and the top of the key three, like as a big, you have to have those. You have to be able to shoot or spread the floor just a little bit. I mean, that's just where the game is going. Like, you got guys like LeBron, who's Steph, who literally can shoot the lights off, but they need the paint. And those old bigs, I would be sitting right there, like with the guy guarding me, just clogging up the paint. And I appreciate the evolution of the big, like Joker, Embiid, AD. Like, those guys are freaking amazing. Like, I am such a fan of what they do. They're not bigs. Those are just great basketball players, that just happen to be big.
Happen to be. I mean, they do so much in the game now that it's you see Joker firing that thing up from everywhere.
Oh yeah, jumping this far off the ground. I love it. I love it.
Are there any guys in college right now who you see who you're like, oh yeah, this guy's up next?
I will say this: Zach Edey in this summer league surprised me. He really, like, I wasn't sure how his game was going to translate in the NBA, but when you're freaking 7'3", like, nobody else can do anything with it. And I'm looking forward to that Memphis Grizzlies team having Ja back. Big Edie is the guy. And I think, we played in the Big East, so, we always got to go up against the UConns, and that was my scout, and I hate it because we almost got him one time. Fuck. Sorry. I think a lot of guys who are big in college right now think they need to be more wing. And I love to say, like, I wasn't a good basketball player, but I can dunk the basketball and I can block shots. So why not do that the best of my ability? And it got me to the #1 draft pick. And I think a lot of bigs these days, like, no, I need to shoot like Steph. No, you're 7 feet tall. Can you make 100 fucking 1 foot hook shots? Like, what are we talking about? Like, be good at what you're going to be good at.
For sure.
So,
WNBA is obviously something now that we're seeing a lot more of. You're a fan of it. You still watch. Who are you liking in the league right now?
So I'm in Indianapolis. So Caitlin Clark is that's the girl right there. She's doing her thing. But I was a big WNBA fan before. Like, I was watching the Lisa Leslie's, the Tamika Catchings. When my daughter was born, like, she's 1 year old and I'm watching the WNBA finals. So, like, everybody else just now jumping on the bandwagon. It's cool and all, but, like, I've been doing this. Yeah. Like, last year, like, not this past season, but the year before, I was going to the Fever games, sitting courtside. Like, I went to 4, I took my daughter to 4, and then I hate this because, and I'm talking to Indiana Fever right now. I got me courtside seats for $300 2 seasons ago, and then I tried to get courtside seats this year, and they were $10,000. So I'm gonna need you guys to hook a brother up. No, I'm here. I love the women. I honestly think they're better skilled than a lot of the men, just because they don't have the athletic ability. And I think the women just, they listen and they get it done, especially under the rim. I'm just a fan of the game.
It's getting more well known, getting more popular, more people, more eyes on it. So it is dope to see. This Caitlin Clark effect has definitely been has been real too. She's unbelievable.
Yes, I'm just a fan of the sport. I'll be honest with you. I love basketball. I just love like when I watch football. People are like, "What's your teams?" I'm like, Colts, Bills, Browns, and Bengals. Like, they're like, wait, you can't have 4. And then I was like, yeah, I like Detroit because they was on Hard Knocks the year before. Like, I'm that guy. Like, whoever's on Hard Knocks, that's my team that year. The freaking Jets from last year.
So you're tapped into Hard Knocks every year.
Every year.
Love it.
Every year. What was it? Liv Shriver? That's the commentator? Yeah. I'm just a big fan, and I'm just a big fan of good sports, to be honest with you. I just enjoy sports, and that's just in my heart. I'm watching Sports Center every night before I go to sleep. I do watch women's college basketball. Juju is not able to go into the draft yet, but I'm pretty sure she's going to have the same Caitlin Clark effect here in 2 years now. But also, shout out to Coach McGuff and the Ohio State University women's basketball team. They definitely are great, and I think they won the Big Ten last year. Good luck to you all this year. Butler women's basketball team, good luck to you guys. Yeah, I'm just shouting those out because those are the ones that I know personally.
This is something I've been thinking about doing lately, but I saw you did it. I thought I'd give you a lot of props for doing this. What inspired you to go back to school?
I've always told my mom I was going to finish my degree, and a big thing was my daughter. I can't tell her she has to go to college if I don't have my degree.
You almost feel hypocritical with it.
Yeah. So I went back. I got my undergrad in 2019, and just recently, beginning of August, I got my master's.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you. I really, that's probably the highlight of my life because I got into it late, and I had to do 3 12-page book reports within a month and a half, and I did them all. No chat GPT. All me. Yes, I'm looking at this camera. All me. Wrote all those, and I will never write another book report to save my life again. But I did that, and I'm just so thankful to the Ohio State University. It just made me feel good to, it's something that I did for me. It's outside of the game of basketball. It's just like I challenged myself, and I got
stepped
my
up to the
master's
plate.
degree. And now I feel like life is open, I guess, because they don't ask you exactly what your master's degree is in. It's just like, I got my master's. I'll do this job. I'll be head of whatever you're talking about because I got my master's. What you talking about?
How was it getting into coaching? You obviously had Thad Mata. You go and reunite with him and get into the other side of it. How did that feel?
It is a lot. That is the one I was hoping you wouldn't ask me. I recently stepped away from coaching about 4 weeks ago. I spent more time with those guys than I did with my own family. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate every day. But as ex-players, you think about the time we spend in that.
Of course.
The coaches are doing that times double because they're there preparing for everything that you're going to do. And it was awesome. I got to see the preparation that it takes, everything that it takes to get these kids to their best, or at least try to get to their best. And it's a lot, man. I just needed to, I needed to step away because I need my time back, to be honest with you. And now with the N.I.L, I mean, you're a coach, you're a father figure, you're a GM, and you're going out and recruiting. It's like, it really is a lot of time commitment, and you got to be
I can imagine.
all the way in, 2 feet in. And I just felt at this point, I got some other things I wanted to pursue, which also the financial literacy stuff, mentoring, public speaking. I enjoy doing those things, and when you're coaching, you don't got time to do any of that.
What's the biggest lesson you think you learned from it?
Organization.
Yeah.
I mean, you think all the stuff you got to do to prepare for other people's kids? Like Coach Mata, I'm so thankful to see his dedication to this craft. That man works out more than me, which is weird to say. Like, I'm looking down there like, how's Coach? I was like, he has a drop foot, like he has nerve damage in his back. And I'm like, yeah, I saw him do an hour on elliptical. I only got 20 minutes in. That man is dedicated, and I'm so thankful because that's something that gravitated me towards him was his dedication to his players and, coaching, getting the best out of them. And I feel really bad that I stepped away, but I am so thankful to see what it takes to be a coach. And I think one day I'll be there. I just think right now I had other opportunities and other things that I wanted to pursue.
You think it's something you may go to again in the future?
Oh, yeah. Like my daughter's 8. When she's 14 and doesn't want to talk to me, and when she gets her driver's license and doesn't want to be around me, I might coach. And then when she's 21 and I'm 50 and I'm taking her to Vegas, oh yeah, I already got that planned. I'm taking her to Vegas for her. I'm going to pay for dinner. I'm going to pay for the club. And then I'm going to be like, don't talk to me.
Does your daughter want to play ball?
My daughter is a girly girl cheerleader. And she will disown basketball because I played it and everybody likes me because I play basketball, but I think she wants to be a cheerleader. She just started doing the travel cheer teams, and I'm getting ready to go to a cheer competition and be there all day for 3 minutes of a routine. And the parents were telling me that's what it is. So I'm excited about this. I just love her to be happy. If she wants to play basketball, I would love that, but I would coach her too hard because I'm like, if you're going to do it, if you're going to do it, you got to do it. Sure. And so if she does get there, I would be ecstatic and I would do everything I can to help her. But I think she wants to be a girly girl and stay away from basketball.
When it's all said and done, how do you hope people remember you? Not only as a player, but just as a person as well, I guess, too.
Honestly, I hope people remember me for being a great person. I hope people remember me for just being a nice, bigger than life, positive person. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like, I know my NBA career was small. My basketball career, it was fun. People are going to forget about it in about 2 years. But when you see all big 7 feet, you know that I'm going to have a smile on my face. And I'm going to be a positive, enjoyable person that's never going to be disrespectful to anybody. Like, I still call people younger than me ma'am and sir. Like, that's
something that it's ingrained in you for sure.
Oh, you already know that. Yeah, the moms. Yeah. And that's really it.
When you go through, what you've been through and still come out the other side with a positive, respectful gratitude and appreciation for life. I mean, I think that's something that I look at and couldn't respect more and couldn't, after having sitting here today talking with you a little bit, something that definitely rubs off onto me. I mean, it's very, very easy to get down on yourself, very easy to, not always carry yourself that way. But I mean, I think it's something you're doing incredibly well, something that, is amazing, something that, I appreciate you obviously taking the time out of your day to come on here, chop it up with me. And, man, I wish you nothing but the best and all love for sure, my man.
Man, dude, I'm a big fan, always been a big fan. It took me everything not to run up to you when we was in BBR in Columbus. But thank you for having me, sir.
Oh, bro, of course. And, it means a lot to me. You're always a guy that, I think has been through so much and carried himself so well. So to be able to come down, sit, and chop it up, man, means a lot to me. And it's I wish you nothing but the best moving forward.
Oh, man. Thank you.
My guy.
Appreciate it. If I get a chance, I do want to shout out EduCore. That's where I teach financial literacy. Project 44, who does blood transfusion registry for a lot of us in this country that don't do it when it happens. In this country, it's not a lot of us that can, I need this, and nobody does it. The guy, Andrew Smith, actually played for Butler, and his wife is doing this, and it is just something that I really believe in. A Kid Again Foundation, they do special adventures for families dealing with kids with terminal diseases, sort of like let's go to this amusement park because you guys been in the hospital for the past 6 months. Like, and it's just so special. And you see those kids and those families, especially like the brothers and sisters, the mom and dads that literally have been in hospitals with those kids. And it's like, this is amazing just to get out. I feel a lot for those organizations, and they do so much, and it is just quietly, but it is amazing. So I want to thank you for having me here on this platform, and I appreciate you, sir. And
Of course, brother. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Every man knows the unbeatable feeling of a fresh barbershop shave. Well, what if I told you no longer have to wait weeks or even months between appointments to experience it? Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after the daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. Head over to manscaped.com and join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using code Johnny for 20% off plus free shipping. The stakes are high when you're shaving a mug like this. Manscaped has truly upped my game. The Chairman Pro is waterproof so I can use it right in the shower. It's got a travel lock, which is perfect for me to help make sure it doesn't accidentally turn on in my bag. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Johnny at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Johnny at manscaped.com.